Okay, a lot of people have asked me for training routines, what training routines I used to follow. Moreover, they often actually ask which training routine I followed, as if it was just one. But anyone who knows anything about bodybuilding knows that that's not the case. It switches up, it changes all the time, if not from day to day, at least monthly. So I'm going to talk about the training routines, the three, I think, main training routines I followed. To begin with, I'll start with what I actually began doing when I very first started bodybuilding. I started doing full body training. And I loved bodybuilding so much. I was so excited by the prospect of growing and building my body and becoming the way I want to be, basically, that I would spend 3 to 4 hours in the gym, literally 4 hours. The gym owner used to come upstairs and say, "Hey, Alan, you've been in here way too long." And he'd try and kick me out. It wasn't closing time, but he'd try and kick me out. And I'd be back the next day doing another 4 hours, and the next. And he'd say, "Man, you are nuts." And obviously I got that nonsense about how you'd lose muscle and everything. It's all in your mind, that's what I always say. To begin with, I could say maybe now it wouldn't be such a good idea at this stage to do 4 hours a day. But to begin with, my body absolutely thrived on full body training. It grew so quickly. It grew proportionally because I was just doing the whole thing every time, and I was blasting every single muscle. And I was very young. I was, I started weightlifting 14, but, around 17, 18, I started hitting the iron seriously. So we'll say at about that age, I was doing the full body training, and it was working incredibly. It didn't go on forever. It was the first basic way I trained, and I stopped doing it as I learned more about bodybuilding. But I also went back to it later, and I said, okay, for a month I'm going to be doing full body training. And invariably, full body training keeps you in the gym longer. So it can be 2.5 hours, 3 hours training. Forget that cortisol crap. Obviously, where people get mixed up with cortisol is that it's obviously a factor if you're on a restricted calorie diet. You're preparing for competition, or you're getting ready for summer if you're a lifestyle bodybuilder, and you're not in a bulking phase, you're in a very restricted phase, then of course you're not going to spend 2.5, 3 hours in the gym. You're going to try and do your 90 minutes and get out of there, because then it's a factor. But when you're bulking and you're getting all the nutrients you need, eating all the food you want, there's no reason whatsoever to worry about losing weight unless you're absolutely burning more than you're consuming, and then you're not bodybuilding properly. So that is something that I would do. Even now I would advise to do full body training every now and again, where you hit the whole body. And then I never really stuck very much to that modern day bodybuilding principle, which is you train chest one day, back one day, arms the next day. But I did do it every now and again. What I found is in a natural body, you start to get lagging body parts if you do that. But you can get away with it for a short while, provided you absolutely bomb each body part when you go to the gym. So you go to the gym, it's chest day, and you just bomb your chest. Back day, you bomb your chest from all angles with all exercises. Then it was beneficial to me, but I wouldn't do it for more than 2 or 3 weeks. A month at the absolute most. And then what I think is one of the main staples of bodybuilding, and a really good routine to keep in your inventory all the time, is supersetting. You go to the gym, say it's Monday, you do chest and back. The next day, say you come in and you do biceps and triceps. Next day you come along, you do your legs. Calves, thighs. Next day you come, you do your shoulders and abs. And then you repeat, or you rest, come back on the weekend, start again. Some people do a supersetting twice a week, so they've completed 2 whole routines twice a week. Others do it once a week, which is fine. You've got to find what works for you. I don't believe in giving a precise method to follow, because then I feel I'm not dealing with someone serious. Video's coming to an end. Hope this helps. There'll be more. Alan Eltobauer over and out.
Here's a question I get. Harley, how come you don't get into bodybuilding? How come you don't lift a lot of weights? How come? I'm like, well, as you can see, I'm a bit of a cyclist nut. I love cycling. I love riding up steep hills, and I love riding fast up steep hills and going for big long runs. And now I'm into running as well. I'm trying to get my running times down. I really enjoy running. It's something I'm good at. And like I won a half marathon recently. So I stay away from heavy weights because I can put on a lot of muscle really quickly. And people say, oh, you can't build muscle if you're eating fruit. It's like fucking bullshit, man. It's bullshit. And I'm an endurance runner and cyclist. I'm a fucking marathoner. And marathoners, man, it's all about being lightweight. You're almost looking anorexic when you're a good marathon runner. Look at Ryan Hall or Hailey Gebrselassie. When you're a good runner, you become a bit of a twig. And I don't mind that because I like running and it's all good. And I get to laugh at people who say, oh, fruit makes you fat. And it's like, but you're too skinny, Harley. So it's always entertaining, always entertaining. But you can build as much muscle as you want on this lifestyle. I'm not talking steroid-sized muscle. I'm talking natural style muscle. You know, you can get big and strong and be a heavyweight boxer or whatever. Easy on this lifestyle. It's just about getting the sleep, getting the calories, and doing the fucking training. So many people just want to eat and do no training and wake up looking like some elite bodybuilder. They don't want to train. They don't want to go to bed early. They don't want to suffer in the gym. But I'll tell you what, all my bodybuilder friends, fuck, even the guys on steroids, they train their fucking asses off, man. And they get a lot of sleep and they eat a shitload of calories. All of them eat over 5,000 calories a day. Some of them are vegan, some of them aren't. Some are in the raw food, some of them aren't. But they're all smashing the calories in every day, and they're all getting their sleep. I know one guy who sells steroids. He won't sell steroids to anyone at the gym who doesn't eat enough or sleep enough. Why? Because he doesn't want a bad reputation getting out about his product that it doesn't work. Interesting, hey? So can you build muscle? Fuck, man, I'm a fucking marathon runner. I don't even lift weights, and I can put on muscle pretty easily. Again, it's about getting the calories, getting the sleep, getting the hydration, because muscle's over 70% water. So if you're dehydrated, your muscle's going to be flat, nothingness, deflated. So do it, man. So if you want to get muscle, it takes years of training, man. It takes years of training, commitment. I'm talking like elite bodybuilder style. So if you want to do that, man, do it. Just don't fuck around. Don't like, oh, I can't do it. Do it, man. Whatever you want to do in life, write down your goals, work towards it, have realistic goals. Don't be like grandiose and, you know, I want to put on 200 kilos of muscle in 6 months. Just be realistic, you know, be realistic. A kilo of muscle every 2 months is a big, I mean, a kilo a month on steroids, that's hardcore. A kilo every 2 months, maybe, let's say a kilo every 3 months, that's a bit more realistic for natural bodybuilders. A kilo a month, that's a lot for steroid users. So be realistic. So when someone goes, oh, I put on 5 kilos this month, it's like, yeah, you put on 5 kilos of, put on maybe a pound of muscle, you put on fat, you put on creatine, salt retention, glycogen storage, etc. That's cool. It's about understanding how the body works. So bottom line, you can do it, man. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like Henry Rollins says, keep your blood clean, your body lean, your mind sharp, and fuck the critics. Come at me, bro. Come at